Hello, today I'm going to show you how to connect your camera axe to your phone or any other device that has Wi-Fi connectivity. This red light means that it's not connected to any network. So I'm now going to set up the network. You only have to do these first few steps one time. But right here it shows I have the CA6. AP stands for access point, and then there's an IP address. So I will connect to this. So I'm leaving my local network and I'm connecting to this network instead, which is a local network set up just to connect between the phone and the CA6. So now it's asking for a password, and you just need to type this in the first time. So I'm just typing in CA6 or CA6 admin. And normally you won't need this. It's just when you're connecting for the first time. So now on some devices, you will have to go into a web browser to actually set up the device. But on a lot of modern phones, it'll give you a direct access link to set up the Wi-Fi network. So it's pretty common, so they put this link. But if you don't get this kind of a link on your operating system or your device, you go into a web browser and type in the IP address. So you type in 10.115.102.67 for this CA6, and that web page will be the same as what that button takes me to. So it'll take you to this. And now I can configure Wi-Fi, or I can do standalone mode. So if you have no Wi-Fi network, that you're out in the woods or you're just at a location where you don't have access to a Wi-Fi network, you can do standalone mode, and I'll show you how that works. So standalone mode, you basically told it you want to connect now to standalone mode, and you see that the red light turned to a red and green blinking light, and that basically means it's going to be in standalone mode. So if your device only has Wi-Fi, you'd go and connect to that, but like a laptop or a lot of tablets. But on my mobile phone, if I try to go to the IP address now in a web browser, it'll try to use my data. So I have to my cell data. So I have to turn off this mobile data thing. So I'm going to turn that off. Otherwise, it won't be able to get to my device. So now I'm going to go into a web browser, and this page isn't actually loaded. That's an old one. So, so it's connected to this access point. And remember those last digits. So 10.115.102.67. That's the IP address that I need to go to access this device. So I'm going to go there. So 10.15.167. So you can see it's already loaded in my web browser's history, but you'd normally just type out those things out the first time. And now I'm connected. That's actually kind of weird. I wonder, oh, it's probably some of the character. Anyway, ignore that. I'll try to fix that in the future. But let's see. So now we're connected to the CA6, and we can go in and go into settings, and we can, can set any setting you want. So you hit the test trigger button, and you see that all of the lights are going off. And this blinking red and green means it's in standalone mode, so you're not connected to a local network. Now that's not the common way that you're going to connect. So I'll show you the way that I generally connect, because I generally have access to local Wi-Fi and it's more convenient. So I'm going to turn back on data mode, because I'm going to be connecting through my Wi-Fi network, and I don't have to use that setting anymore. So here we go. We're going to connect to this again, and now you're going to set up. So these steps are the same, but now I'm going to configure my Wi-Fi network. Here we go. So I'm picking my local network, Skywalker. Okay, so now I've typed in my password and I hit save. So now at this point, it saved these settings to the camera X, and it's actually in the process of resetting. At this point, you can see that blinking light means that it's connected to a local Wi-Fi network. And whoops, I need my Wi-Fi here. I want to make sure, okay, yeah, it's connected to my local Wi-Fi network, Skywalker, just like this guy is. So we're going to, at this point, just connect to it. So if you go into your network settings, you can see that there's an IP address there, and that's the IP address now. So you're not connecting to this network, but this advertising for this network tells you the IP address. So it's 192.168.0.16, and that's an IP address assigned by your local network to this device. Okay, so I'm going to type in that number. So I've gone there, and it rarely changes. In fact, you can have it so it never changes, but you have to do some changes to your Wi-Fi router, and I'm not going to cover that in this episode. But basically now you're connected, and you can go in and you can control your camera X again. Now it's going through your local network, and that's generally all you do. So I've done a lot of steps here. So they're set up, and I'll have a link to the instructions you can follow to do this as well. But now I'll show you sort of the steps that you normally do to connect. Once you've set it up, it's much simpler. So now it's just connecting to the local Wi-Fi network, and the blinking light means it's connected. And if I go into a web browser and I type in, go to that IP address, and you can bookmark that, then you're connected, and that's all there is to connecting after you've done that initial setup. So you're connected, everything's working now. So it's really easy after that initial setup, and even the initial setup only takes a few minutes. So there's directions that sort of go through it, but a lot of people like the videos, so I put together this video that shows connecting your camera X. I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.